All right, do it.
Ready? Let's call the meeting to order. Say the Pledge of Allegiance in a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yeah.
Okay, so our mission statement, excellence in education, preparation for life. We have all members in attendance. Any public comments? No. Okay, moving on to consent items. The approval of January 21, 2026 minutes, approval of January 23rd, 2026 and February 10th, 2026 payroll, approval of February 2026 claims. And does anybody have questions about that? Okay, personnel.
Okay, new hires this evening. I'd like to recommend Abby Hess, 5th grade temporary math teacher, Zach Wiseman, boys track assistant coach as volunteer, Gavin Garman, JV baseball assistant coach as a volunteer, Adam, I'm not sure how you pronounce this one, Brimmy, boys varsity golf assistant coach, and Brett Byler as our girls varsity head tennis coach. A couple reassignments. Craig Burkholder, varsity co-ed soccer head coach to varsity soccer assistant coach as a volunteer. Brody Rice, varsity assistant baseball coach to varsity assistant baseball coach as a volunteer. And resignations, Torin Kellett, girls and boys varsity head tennis coach. Tina Saylor, girls varsity assistant volleyball coach. Colton Penick, JV boys basketball coach as a volunteer. Melissa Bontrager, 8th grade girls volleyball coach. Samantha Doty, middle school temporary permanent sub, effective the 27th of February.
Okay, anybody have any questions? Do you have a motion?
Second.
Justin and Todd. Okay. Take a vote. 5-0. Okay, moving on to the action items.
Okay, our first one, sent you guys all information about the waivers from the Department of Education. So they sent out guidance saying we can seek waivers for the days missed of January 26th. I submitted those, that job form for that for the 3 days, and they approved 2 of those. So January 26th could be January 26th and January 27th could be waived. So I would recommend that we go ahead and accept those waiver days.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
Jamie and Aaron seconded. Okay, to the vote. Passes 5-0.
Okay, along with that, I'd like to recommend that we go ahead and pay our classified employees for those 2 days. All of our contracted employees would be paid for those 2 days. So I'd like to make sure that our classified got paid for those 2 days as well.
Okay, have a motion.
Motion.
A second.
Second.
Okay, we'll take a vote. Passes 5-0.
Okay, the next one, recommend the bid and purchase from McAllister for a 78 passenger bus. And we did use the Central Indiana Education Service Center cooperative purchasing for that. I did send you a message on why we only have 1 quote, and that's because the other 2 bus companies do not make gas engines anymore. So McAllister would be the only one. Came in at a pretty good price, honestly, $156,912. I think that's cheaper than the one we bought last year.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that.
Yeah,
Like
so-
20,000 or something,
Yeah.
right?
So, yeah, just 1 bus this year. So that should be here by the start of next school year. So I'd like to recommend the purchase of that 78 passenger bus.
Have a motion.
Second. So move. Second.
Take to a vote. Passes 5-0.
Okay, the last one there, you have in your packets a bid from White's Flooring and Carpet Cleaning to do the middle school carpet this summer. That's part of our bond project that we're doing. We did reach out to a couple other companies and they did not quote it. So we'll go with White's. We feel good about White's doing the work. They did our auditorium for us and also did the tile work in our 5th grade hallway and also did the tile in the in the restrooms, Heather, since you said we need a new tile in our restrooms here. Yeah, so they did that new tile. So their quote came in at $188,869.85. So I'd like to recommend that we approve White's for that project. So,
I'll second.
Vote. Passes 5-0. Okay, superintendent comments.
okay, we'll start with you guys first. Brian, what do you got?
Since the last meeting, some things that have been happening in the elementary, we just wrapped up our high learn checkpoints. So that was the second checkpoint. We did, our third grade did exceptionally well, especially in math. To give you, I guess, a picture, we were 26% above the state proficiency level in that one subject or grade level. So that was really impressive. So I want to give a shout out to that team, those students. We've also started our Kids Heart Challenge, which we normally do every year. Mrs. Allen has kind of taken that on, and that's the benefit of the American Heart Association. Kindergarten registration is starting to get underway, so we'll have those get registration for appointments now, and that will be coming up in March. And then we've been doing high ability testing as well, and it's K2 to 4. And then before we meet again, we're going to have a math night, and our learning fair is happening in the building right now. So if you want to see some different projects, they're by the gym and then up in that third grade wing. And then we have iRead coming up, so that's kind of a big deal in elementary. And then we'll have a Q3 behavior incentive convocation and award. So we started that in Q2. We'll keep that going.
David?
All right, we've had some music winners in instrumental music. Miles Travis earned a gold rating for his tuba solo. Claire Greathouse, gold rating for her trumpet solo. In vocal music, Owen Bailey earned a gold rating, and he's actually competing at state this coming weekend. Wrestling, Max Kleberg qualified for state, and will wrestle at Cambridge Friday night. Our impact students, we had several students place in the top 5 in their Skills USA Challenge. Marine Service, Karen Hart placed second. Crime Scene Investigation, Elena Himmelander placed second. Criminal Justice Competition, Aiden Davis placed first. Nurse Assisting, Michaela Schnetzer placed third. And Medical Assisting, second place was Maya Wilhelm. AIM 1 this Friday will have their academic recognition at the awards at the basketball game. So the kids will get their jackets, pens, depending on where they're at on that scale. Semi-formal is this Saturday. So if your dance card's not full and you would like to see a bunch of high school kids running around. 8th grade parent night is February 25th. And we just finished snow coming this last week. It was a good week. The kids really got into the competition. And the seniors actually stepped up and improved their game a little bit and won this time. So it was kind of fun to see the neat competitions and the kids actually competing and getting after it.
Q2 rewards. Recently we had, tried to do it for a while, but we had a bunch of snow days, but you wouldn't believe what kids would do for DQ Dilly Bar. So a bunch of kids were recognized for their great citizenship and behavior. So, they had some good help on that. And kids were treated to that. Wrapped up iLearn Checkpoint 2, like Brian had said. Give a shout out to 6th grade. 6th grade team did a really good job overall. With both math and ELA. We had our PD day that we had to do a makeup day for, so we still want to do our literacy PD. And our math PD that we had scheduled. So we did our math PD on February 4th. Worked a lot on our MTSS mandates that we have to have in place for next year. And then things on classroom instruction, collaboration, formative instruction, and how we're going to instruct kids in our MTSS process for next year. So that was February 4th. And then for literacy, we've got the 18th of this week where we're having our reading specialists come in and work with our ELA teachers, and then the 26th come in to work with our science and social studies. So a little bit of what's going on at the middle school.
Okay, a couple things I have. Number one, we had all of our extracurricular accounts audited in the past couple of weeks, and those came back no issues. So clean bill on those. That's good to see. We're going to have an insurance holiday through our insurance trust in the month of April, which is pretty exciting for our employees. So the insurance trust is doing well. We have a pretty good reserve set aside, so we're going to pay some of that back. to our employees, and the districts also have that month off from paying the bills. So, so it's a good deal for our employees to get some money back in their paycheck. I'm going to go to project updates. I better talk about this one first. E-learning and the DOE waivers. So the DOE did allow us to waive those 2 days. So I kind of went back and forth with her on a couple of emails trying to clarify some things. In the past, it had been you make up the first 6 days, then every odd after that you could have waived. That is no longer the case. So they want you to do e-learning first, and that's the asynchronous days. They allow districts to have 3 asynchronous days. So that means you're not live, right? You're just sending homework home for kids, and they access that. So they basically said, we will not waive any more days since you have access to 3 asynchronous days. So unless you use those 3, do not ask for any more waivers. So I've never seen any guidance of that. I've never heard any of that, but that is the case now. So if it wouldn't have been for Indianapolis being impacted by the snowstorm, they wouldn't have waived these days either, would be my guess. So, you know, I think all of us here have the same philosophy on e-learning, and we all value the education in our classrooms first and foremost. But I think maybe it is time that maybe we explore those 3 asynchronous days, especially this year as we're going into these projects this summer that I'm going to be talking about here in a minute. We're already having the press box start in May, so they're going to be disrupting some classrooms along that back wall. That ceiling grid light project in the high school, they have to start on time. And we all know that June, nothing real good is happening around here on the education side anyways. It's hard to keep everybody's focus in June. So I guess I propose to you, and we can add it as an action item for us to pursue using the 3 asynchronous days. Obviously, if we'd have a cancellation this week, we probably would not be ready for that. We need to have some conversations in the building. We need to send home some notice to parents of what could be happening. And I think into the future, you know, I don't want us to be that school who, you know, your first day that you cancel, it's an e-learning day. I think if we continue this as a practice for us, is we always make up the first 5 days, right? And those are snow days. We make up the first 5, and then we'll consider asynchronous after that. Most of our years, we've had some wacky years. We missed a lot of days, but most were probably 6 to 8 days that we have missed. So I guess I would like to go back then and add an action item E to recommend that we use the 3 asynchronous days that we're allowed to for any more weather cancellations for the rest of this year.
Any questions about that?
I think it's the best way we can try to salvage something of it.
I agree. It's not ideal.
That is right. I will approve.
Second.
The vote passes 5-0.
Okay. Maybe this year we have a couple and we can reflect on it then, see how it went. And then we can come back and have this conversation again, maybe this summer, to see, hey, is this something that we want to continue to do? So we'll have that discussion. So if we get another cancellation, maybe we can try it out, see how it goes, see what we did well, see what didn't work well, those types of things. So I've already had the conversation with the principals. They know if it was approved tonight that they need to go back and start having conversations in their buildings right away. And we'll work on a notice to parents and we'll see how it goes. Okay.
Because when you watch the cancellations in the morning and you'll see some of them say asynchronous,
Yeah.
and some will say remote, and some will say e-learning.
Yeah.
Is there one other term?
Virtual.
Virtual, there you go.
Virtual is normally live.
Yeah.
That's what we call synchronous learning.
Yeah,
Synchronous,
Yeah, the asynchronous would be, check-ins or you email a teacher and that type of thing. But it's not like actual live classroom instruction.
At most schools, do the teachers have to be available during that time for questions and emails?
That's pretty much what it is.
Right.
Yeah. Certain hours that they have to be
Yeah.
available during the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give a time frame on that.
Okay, so we'll get to work on that the rest of this week then. Okay. Just to give you an update on the projects, the bond projects that we have going on. A lot of things, trying to get into the final details. It's going to be a busy summer. I already gave Aaron and Todd one of these. Here's I'll start with the press box, kind of a rendering of our press box. Jesla. So we're going away from the people on the roof concept. This will just be a one level press box. You can see down there at the ends of the press box, there's a platform on each side. That's where each team's video person can stand. So that's where the video will be going. And then the first half, the first rooms on each side of the press box will be home team and visiting team. And then obviously the media will be in there in the middle. So probably a charcoal gray color, white trim, and then a black roof, and all of it, that'd be metal siding. So should be a nice press box. The cost of that press box and installed is $531,000. And then all of the groundwork, the support beams and everything that you see, concrete work, moving utilities, that type of thing from Michael Kinder and Sons will be another $244,572. So all in all, that press box project is going to run around $775,572. So we knew it would be expensive, and hopefully this one lasts a very long time for us.
Plus concession stand.
So yeah, I'll get to that.
Okay.
Yep. So the concession stand, which is tied to that press box right now, we're still going to keep that. It's going to be renovated. We'll be doing some things inside on and outside on that. The outside, we'll be putting metal on it to match what the press box looks like. We're doing some countertops and painting and some electrical inside. The estimate to redo that is $136,008. So pretty expensive projects going on out back there.
What's the size difference compared to what we have now?
It's a lot longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot longer.
So
Yeah.
the concession stand fits in between here.
Yes.
Okay, so right now,
Currently.
It's, yeah.
I mean, that's one of the new ones, so it would be about that.
yeah, so I was thinking maybe.
Dimensions on here.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's longer. So,
It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be great.
So it'll be nice. It'll be nice. So got that project going on. Then in the high school, we had the ceiling grid and lighting going on through most of the high school and most of the restrooms. That estimate, again, through Michael Kinder Son, came out to be $1,165,888. Then we move into the middle school, elementary school. Our last sections of roof quote came in at $578,792 for the roof. You just heard the carpet bid tonight of $188,000. So those are the projects kind of that we have lined up here going into the summer. So again, kind of a busy summer. And then the playground, which we're still working on. So out back, right behind the elementary, going into the playgrounds, there's a section of asphalt there and some drainage that's really not very functional, hasn't worked really well. So Brooks Construction is going to be redoing that asphalt for us and then redoing the drainage as well. So we're not going to have standing water or running water going across that asphalt. Their quote came in around $133,000 for that. So we're going to fix that asphalt back there. And then the playgrounds, we're going to kind of square those playgrounds up. We're going to border them with a sidewalk all the way around the playgrounds. That's going to be our border. Brooks Construction is also going to do that for us. I think for them to regrade the playgrounds and to do the concrete work, it's going to be around $68,000 to do that. And then looking at playground equipment, which we're kind of working on right now. What we're looking at, again, we have two playgrounds back there, one for K and 1 and the other one for 2, 3, and 4. You know, we want kind of something like this. You know, we want one big centerpiece in our playgrounds. And then some type of, kids love to climb, some type of climbing rope system, and then obviously swing. So we're looking for those three main components. There may be some other little things in there. So right now, you know, we're pushing probably $500,000 on playground equipment installation. Again, not a cheap project. Still doing a little bit of work on that. Hopefully we'll have those finalized here in the next couple of weeks. But some big ticket items. We knew there were going to be some big ticket items. That's why we're doing this project. But excited about the playground one. I think our kids will love that, considering too that they've had pretty much a broken playground for how many years. So that'll be nice. So those are the main things we have going on right now. So after this summer, kind of see how much we've spent. and then kind of retool and kind of reprioritize things that we need and see what we're going to do next. We also are going to do elementary furniture over the summer as well. So Brian and I have a meeting with the furniture guy, I believe Wednesday, right? Start having those conversations. And so we'll get the elementary furniture over the summer, and then probably work on high school furniture next Christmas break. That seemed to work pretty well at the middle school. So busy summer going on. So questions on any of those? Okay. I think that is all I have, Heather.
So meeting is adjourned at 5:20. Thanks, everybody. Nice college movie.
Hey, Christine.
Oh my God, Perkins.
Never mind. Oh, yeah. I don't remember the steps to tell you.
Thanks, Christine.
$1 million press box. $5 million